Live. I don't think it was ever live. I don't think we were ever live on YouTube. We can start one.
Later?
Is that cat now? Is that cat?
What?
Is that cat?
Yeah.
Okay. I saw you just start. I was trying not to look at you, but you were just laughing over there.
That was good.
Think my interview skills need work, Partridge? What is it?
No?
No, it's because I said we've been working towards an effective handoff or whatever like that. In the case that we win. I didn't say your name though. So.
I wanted to get that.
Current student.
I wanted to get that was a little. I think we really climaxed the interview when I got out that people say you aren't experienced. What do you guys say?
Yeah, it was like well, it's hard. I think it's a tough sell to say that you're the leaders, you're the experienced leaders when you can't even lead the campaign.
Boom. That's like a thing. That's like crop that, put it out.
Yeah, that's like the most, like, after that I was like, God, I don't know if I should have said that. Like, that's the most shots fired I've done so far. That, or they've been freaking out because they're trying to figure out what stir the pot means. It's like, I think it's kind of self-explanatory.
It's very self-explanatory.
But, like, Cradle texted Addie yesterday and it's like, what does stir the pot mean?
Is Addie on your guys'?
Yeah.
Love it.
It's basically just like hashtag drain the swamp or something like that.
I was gonna say, like, I can't imagine being a actual presidential candidate for like the United States. Those guys campaigned for like a year and a half.
Like a year and a half at least.
I couldn't do it. It's just so time consuming.
So yeah, these next few segments go.
I wrote down just a few. It's gonna be. Are we just gonna go like do a one take on it, not take any breaks, or what are your thoughts?
We can take a break.
Okay.
Sure. Live from the University of Nebraska at Kearney, we're back with the weekly allowance with me and Austin Partridge joining us now. Austin, how's the day going?
It's good. So I was in Lincoln these past 2 days. Had a nice dinner last night. Got to meet some really interesting people. Got to meet Scott Frost and John Cook and hear them speak. So it was a really interesting opportunity there. And then we had a board meeting today for the region. So that went well. It's good to be back in Kearney though. The day's going good. How are you today, Luke?
You know, pretty good. No complaints. Just working like crazy at school, and everything's going pretty well there. Glad to be doing another show, the weekly allowance. And yeah, can't really think of too many complaints. So day's going well. It's off to a good start, and got a little poker tournament action tonight at the Red Dress Poker Tournament put on by Alpha Phi. A little free publicity there for you girls, but looking forward to that. Maybe win it all this year since I've never actually made the final table or made it past the first table. So really looking forward to do that this here in a few minutes, few minutes coming up. So, well, today me and Austin are kind of going to touch on, for the last 30 minutes, I guess, the benefits of getting involved in college. If you were listening to the show previously, we just got done with an interview with a candidate that's running for the student body president, Micah Carlson. Did a little interview with him. And going off that, we know obviously being student body president, I think Austin can speak for it. It's a pretty big job. It's a pretty big task. You're kind of the big man on campus. Everyone knows who you are. You're a student regent. You get to go to important dinners like Austin did last night and get to meet people like Scott Frost and everyone that goes to those dinners. So pretty cool experience there. But we're just going to walk you through why getting involved in college can be a good thing and why it can lead to success in the future. To start out with, I want to just walk through my experience, I guess, being involved in college. I think Austin can do the same after me. Really, my involvement kicked off when I was a freshman in college. I wanted to get involved right away. I didn't quite know what I wanted to get involved in. I joined the fraternity, Sigma Phi Epsilon, on campus, and that was kind of the gate that opened up my involvement. So got there, met people that were super involved in college, and they told me how I could get super involved in college. So it really just started off by getting doing a few minor positions in the fraternity. Then come second semester, freshman year, doing some things with the Greek community as a whole with Interfraternity Council. Came to sophomore year, giving some campus tours and doing more things with Interfraternity Council, doing some more things with SIGEP and all that stuff, while golfing on campus, doing some involvement there as well. Came to junior year, took over as president of fraternity, still continued to give campus tours, do some other things as well. And then it came to the junior summer where I did some new student enrollment, was a new student enrollment leader at UNK, and continue to do that as well. But senior year, I've kind of relaxed a little bit. I'm still a Chancellor's Ambassador on campus and work towards that as the coordinator of that group. But kind of relaxed senior year, again, student teaching and stuff like that. But I can speak for people to get involved on campus. I would say I've had my fair share of extracurricular activities I've helped out with, and I would say it's led to success in my part. But it's not all about me. Austin, what are some of the things you've been able to get involved in at campus? What does your involvement look like?
Yeah, so before I go into what I've been involved with here at UNK, I just want to say, Luke, that I think you are probably the most involved student, definitely in our senior class. It's incredible to see the things that you've done and the things that you've been able to do. So I really look up to you for that. And I guess I'll just kind of go into my experience a little bit. It started off similar to Luke. I joined this thing called Sigma Phi Epsilon, and probably the best decision that I could have made coming into college, because that really allowed me, like Luke mentioned, to meet other individuals who were extremely involved, and they kind of took me under their wing and showed me how to get involved as well. And so before this is probably the least prepared Luke and I have ever been for a show. Our schedules have been crazy this past week, but I just jotted down a few things that I've been involved with. So I'll start at the bottom and kind of work up. So my freshman and sophomore year, I was involved in an organization called Enactus, and that was really kind of an entrepreneurial organization that allowed us to go out and do projects and do community service projects within the community. And I had the opportunity to sit on the board of directors for that, so that was really awesome, a really awesome opportunity. I was then an RA for 2 years, and maybe I'll touch on that experience a little bit later, but that was challenging, and it was worth it. I think I really enjoyed my experience there. I also served as the vice president of finance within SIGEP. With Luke, I'm part of the honors program, Order Omega, Mortar Board, Beta Gamma Sigma, all of that good stuff. We were both Chancellor's Ambassadors. I was just 1 year. Luke is obviously the coordinator this year. And then I got involved in Student Senate for the College of Business, and through that, I really saw that prior student body president leadership and how incredible and how much of a voice they had, not only on our campus, but also for our university system, and how much they could really make a difference. And so I really looked up to that position and decided to run for it my senior year. Ended up winning, and it's been the best experience of my life, because you not only get to serve UNK on the student body president side, but you also get to serve as the student regent. So you get to sit on all the Board of Regents meetings. You get to really work closely with and get to know the board, which are some of the smartest individuals that I've met and some of the best people as well. You get to work closely with President Bounds and all of the chancellors across each university. And you also get a glimpse into some politics, as we've seen with our budget. So we've been working with state legislators and the Nebraska Unicameral to kind of advocate for funding to the university system. And so that process has really taught me a lot. But that's kind of what I've been involved with, and later on in the show we'll kind of talk about how that's prepared us a little bit to enter into the real world.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Obviously, both been pretty involved, had some opportunities to do some things and learn some things through our involvement. I think the question we can pose now is, since we've been involved and we know what that's like, how did we get involved? What did those steps look like? And that's what we want to walk you through for the next few minutes. I've got really 3 steps of how I got involved, and we'll walk you through those. First one was utilize your resources. So most campuses, whether it's at UNK, probably in the Memorial Student Affairs building, or if you just go online, unk.edu, you could find a list of all the student organizations on campus that have something to offer you. And so that's what I did. I kind of did my research, and part of it came from being in a fraternity. That was kind of my resource, was my fraternity, of what are you guys involved in? What do you guys enjoy doing? What have you gotten out of that? Do you think I'd be a good fit into that organization? Do you think I'd be a good leader to do this, that? That would be probably the number one thing I would say is use your resources, use the people around you to kind of guide you in the right direction when you're looking at getting involved. I would say that was the first thing I did was I went into SIGEP, and we kind of had some new member meetings of, hey, this is what college is like. We're here to kind of guide you along the way. And I was able to have a mentor in SIGEP, kind of a father in SIGEP that could tell me, hey, this is something I think you'd be good at. This is something that's coming up. We would post things on our page. This is an application you can fill out if you want to do this certain thing. And having that resource that you can fall back on to say, hey, this might be for me. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, I think for me, it was really SIGEP was the base because you had those mentors there. And I think just, beyond that, I think it's just going out and doing it, giving it a try. And that's one thing that's really awesome in college. It allows you to try so many different things that you're never really stuck with doing one thing. You're not stuck with this career the rest of your life. If you try it, maybe it's not for you. You don't have to continue participating in it next semester, things like that. So I would just recommend if there's something that you might be interested in, whatever it may be, whether it pertains to your major or not, I would recommend going out and giving it a try. Maybe you're interested in student government, so maybe put your name on the list and see what happens. Maybe go out and interview for a Chancellor's Ambassador. You just really never know what's going to happen, and you never know the experience that you're going to get. I encourage you not to prejudge something before you join it. So really, just for me, find that mentor, find somebody who's involved with it, ask them a few questions, ask them how do you get involved with this, and then just go out and do it.
Yeah, I think, and that leads us right into our second thing that I put down was try everything at least once. Don't be afraid to get involved because maybe that wasn't you in high school, maybe that wasn't you years ago of I never got involved in my FBLA chapter in high school, so why would I get involved in this Enactus program when I got to college? Try everything. I mean, try something, even just get your feet wet and see if that's for you. I think of, in my situation, giving campus tours. If you would have told me senior year of high school, Luke, you're going to be giving campus tours, and one day you'll actually be a new student enrollment leader at UNK, I would have said, you're absolutely crazy. There's no way I'm going to talk in front of people like that every day. There's no way I have the pep, the motivation, whatever, to do that stuff. You're crazy. I tried giving tours for a semester. I got hooked. I did it for 4 semesters, which then led to a new student enrollment leader position, but don't be afraid to kind of step out of your comfort zone. I wasn't very comfortable giving tours the first few weeks, but once I got used to it, once I got involved in it, that was something that I really enjoyed throughout my college career, and it was a nice little some supplemental income that could kind of help me through school as well. Same thing with SIGEP. If you would have told me I would have been the president of SIGEP when I was a freshman in SIGEP, I would have said no. I'm pretty timid. There's no way I can control an 80-man chapter. I would have said you're crazy. Same thing happened again. So I can tell you from experience, go out and try everything at least once because you never know what you might actually be really good at.
Yeah, I think Luke and I have this conversation a lot. It's we're both pretty involved in one thing that neither of us have tried. So I never really got into giving tours or NSC and anything like that, and that's probably my one regret. And I wish I would have gave it a try. And Luke really never got involved in student government or anything like that. And he always says, I wish I could have just tried it out just to see what it would have been like. So yeah, definitely go out and try these things out. It won't hurt you. If you fail, if you're not good at it, at least you get to take away a good learning experience.
And then the last thing I have, the third thing, was realize that being involved is an ongoing process. So it shouldn't be restricted just to one thing. It shouldn't be restricted to one organization, whatever it may be. Not just restricted like something freshmen, sophomores do. Involvement is ongoing. I started my freshman year. I'm still doing it my senior year. I never really stopped. Maybe it toned down a little bit when I got to my senior year just to relax a little bit, but also know with that ongoing process, involvement builds off each other. So if you are doing, if you're in a fraternity and you're involved on your exec board, maybe that builds onto in a fraternity council position, and then maybe that builds onto Order of Omega, and then maybe that builds onto Mortar Board, and all these different things build on top of each other. So once you get your feet wet in something, there's so many more things that you can do and experience with an involvement.
Yeah, I think getting involved is going to be time consuming, And it's going to challenge you because you have all of these different things that you're trying to handle and juggle on top of class, on top of going to work, these things like that. It taught me so much how to manage my time, and I think that's the one big thing that I'm going to take away from getting so involved is, how do I manage my time? And it really challenges you to see how much you're actually capable of. If you don't challenge yourself and you don't start to fail a little bit, you never really know how good you can be, how much you can handle, things like that. And one thing I would just add, don't get over-involved. And what I mean by that is, you want to get involved in things you're passionate about and be able to commit your time, commit your passion, be really focused so you can do a really good job on the things that you are, active in. I would say don't get over-involved to the point where you are having to kind of balance your time and say, well, I'm going to kind of put this off so that I can do this. But definitely get involved to the point that you have a full schedule, you have a full plate of activities, and it's going to be really fun. It's going to be challenging, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, that's a great point, getting over-involved. I experienced that when I was a sophomore of golfing and doing like 5 different other things on top of golf and being like, I'm just going to survive within this activity and survive within this, and then things just started to lack and you have to keep your grades up and all that stuff. So very good point there. So now you know kind of how to get involved. We'll take a short break here, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the benefits of getting involved on campus. Stay tuned. It's 42 minutes past the hour. This is the Weekly Allowance. I don't have a song.
I can just do it.
If it plays, it might.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do radio. Well,
Playing poker tonight?
No, I'll probably head over there right now. Yeah,
see you at the final table, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't afford.
Serious players coming.
Dude,
in
I've been so stressed to the point. Like, I don't think I've ever been this stressed in my life.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, I feel you.
Dude, it's to the point like I always have a knot in my stomach.
Yeah.
So eating, I have to force myself to eat the right amount
Gosh.
because I don't feel hungry.
I can't imagine it.
Yeah.
I felt the same way, and we weren't even running against anybody. Realistically, when they dropped out, I still had that pressure on me, and
Yeah.
still felt that way. So
Yeah.
completely normal. I felt the same way. But you'll get through it. You'll be fine.
I just don't know. I just don't know how this is gonna turn out.
Stir the pot, man.
The unknown.
I don't know.
That's the thing you can take away is
I think we got a good shot, but I don't know.
yeah, it's even if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to, it's at least you stirred the pot.
Dave, a big old fuck you.